Hello, diviners, and welcome. We are here in this video to pick your word of the year for 2025. I did this video last year and I had so many emails, messages, folks that are in my communities. They told me, oh my gosh, that word has been so accurate for the year, and I returned to it again and again and again. So, what this video is really for is for you to find what your core theme is for 2025 and continue to have the teachings, the messages to fall back on when things get tricky. Even when you're planning what your year ahead is going to look like, this word can play a really big part in that. Normally on this channel, you're going to see me talking about reading Lenormand, and today we are going to actually be pulling an oracle card for your word for 2025. But make sure to stick around until the end because I just had to add a little bit of Lenormand spice to this video, and you're actually going to be able to pick the main area of your life that's going to come into prominence this upcoming year with Lenormand. So make sure to stick around for that extra added sassy spice to your reading. If you are a diviner yourself, you read tarot, Lenormand, or oracle cards, I want to invite you to a very special event I'm hosting on Sunday, January 5th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's called Drop-in Divination, Map Your Magic for 2025. Normally, I reserve these kinds of events only for my membership, but I just felt the very strong pull to invite everyone. And inside this event, I am going to be providing you with a menu of questions and a very supportive space for you to divine for the upcoming year ahead. We're going to be asking some big mama questions, exploring some key themes for 2025, and gain some practical guidance. All you need to do to attend is to register here at emilyrosedivinationcom/drop-in and make sure you register. You need to be registered to attend, and you can bring any divination decks you want. So I hope to see you there, and I can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for you there. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dip into our word of the year for 2025. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and take a deep breath with me. And select the deck that is calling to you most. You can select the New Orleans Oracle, the Modern Nirvana Oracle, or the Opal Oracle. Usually our intuition works pretty quickly in terms of choosing a pile that calls most to us. So you likely already had your deck in mind. If you don't, feel free to pause me here and just select the pile or the deck that's calling to you the most. You may be called to a couple of the decks that are here, and that's wonderful too. I have timestamps down below for each of the piles here. So whichever one you selected, you can go ahead and skip to that timestamp. Let's start here with our first deck, the New Orleans Oracle. If you selected the New Orleans Oracle, then this reading is for you. You have one more selection to make here, and that is to select one of the cards that's here. So we have cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And feel free to pick one or several of the cards that you are gravitating towards the most. Feel free to pause me if you need more time, but we are going to dig into your reading here. If you chose card 1, here is your card. Your card of the year is Adventure. Oh, this is such a cool one to start on. And from the book here, from the New Orleans Oracle, adventures can be had near and far. It is all about paying attention to what brings the feeling of renewed excitement into your being, whether it's taking a day trip to a fun and unfamiliar place or checking out a new activity that piques your interest. It is definitely time to break the mold of what your days have turned into. So this is an adventure year if you selected card 1. If you selected card 2, we have the same word of the year, which is peace. Currently, there may be too many issues and thoughts swirling around in your life and mind, keeping you from being at peace. Now is the time to ask yourself what changes within your power to make that can create a deeper sense of peace. It's recommended at this time that you do mind-body connection exercises like yoga or tai chi or meditation. And it's also time to spend some time in nature. And no matter how small the gesture may be or seem to you, every little bit counts and is a step closer to what you desire. If you chose card 3, your word for 2025 is signs. Synchronicities are a sign of being on the right path. Everything from repetitious number patterns to animal messengers and found items can be signs from your angels of helping you along your path. If this card has shown up for you, then something's been trying to get your attention and point you in the right direction. If you need help with clarifying the message, simply ask for more assistance and pay attention to the signs. If you selected card 4, your word of the year is growth. You are growing to trust yourself more and more. You are becoming more aware of your intuitive feelings and guidance. By allowing yourself the time and flexibility to acknowledge and honor these feelings, you are supporting yourself in having the best and most fulfilling life possible. If you chose card number 5, then your word of the year is the same word that I selected for 2024, which was so accurate for me, which is the word learning. The more you know, the more you realize how much there is left to learn. Boy, isn't that something I learned this year. You are currently in a learning and growth cycle that will lead you in the direction that you desire. During this time, you will be more aware of patterns and synchronicities, especially within yourself. Although you might be tempted to tell yourself that you already know, there is a difference between understanding something on an intellectual level and understanding something on an emotional or intuitive one. And this card really, I remembered every single day of 2024. And I was introduced to so many lessons, had so many dreams that helped me integrate the lessons I was learning. So if you chose this card, you're in for a fun but challenging year. If you selected card 6, then your word of the year is duality. It is always good to know oneself and understand where your boundaries begin and end. However, just as life is fluid and ever-changing, we too must be open to flow with the winds of change as needed. You've picked this card because you've experienced inner conflict over how to present yourself to the world. You have many different sides and roles, including some you may not have even explored yet. You are being supported at this time to be as you feel in each moment without the worry of how you are perceived. If you picked card 7, you have a fun word of the year, which is abundance. The fastest way to attract more abundance into your life is to first tap into your gratitude, which can reveal the many gifts that are already present. Although life may not always feel or look exactly the way that we desire, there is always something to be thankful for. Recognizing these things, no matter how big or small, will help your vibration flow into attracting greater abundance. If this card has shown up in your reading, then you are on your way to manifesting a more abundant life through the practice of appreciation and gratitude. If you chose card 8, then I want to be your friend this year because your word is let loose. Okay, it's 2 words, but short phrase. Everyone knows that Mardi Gras is the celebration of celebrations. If this card has shown up in your reading, it's time to let loose and forget all the obligations that have been plaguing you, even just for a few hours. Your ability to experience fulfillment and enjoyment in the moment has been compromised due to overthinking, managing life obligations, and experiencing a lack of joy in your day-to-day life. This imbalance is affecting you, and it's time to look for the opportunities to let loose and have fun. If you selected card 9, then your word of the year is patience. And oh my goodness, this was my word of the year before I quit my full-time muggle job to start my own business. So I'm very acquainted with this card. A tree needs time to grow after it is planted, and the same can be said for even our best laid plans. By simply doing what is in your power and then having some faith and letting go, you will see the fruits of your labor come to pass piece by piece. This card has shown up in your reading because you are eager for results since your patience has worn so thin. Take stock of all of your actions. It is likely you've already done all that is within your power, and now it is time to let nature take its course. Last but not least, if you selected card 10, then your phrase for the year is create your own reality. I worked very deeply with this card the year that I planned to do what I do now full time, and it really changed my life. The dragonfly is about perception, illusion, and transformation in mental energy. You've pulled this card because you've grown stronger in your manifestation skills, and it is necessary to pay attention to where you choose to focus your thoughts and energy. Think about what you want, not what you don't want. Has a recent situation not been to your liking and led you to focus on what is lacking as opposed to what is abundant? There are often triggers that can tempt us to dwell on what we don't want. But when the dragonfly shows up, it's letting us know that we've grown beyond our thoughts controlling us, and it is now time to be aware and choose what we will focus on. Remember to stick around until the very end, and there's a timestamp so you can actually just jump to it so you can see which area of your life is coming most into focus in 2025 via Lenormand. Also, don't forget to join me on Sunday, January 5th at 10 a.m. Pacific time for a very special drop-in divination event where we're going to map your magic for 2025. Make sure you are registered, and all you need to do is register and bring your decks of choice. I'll supply the questions, and we will divine together. If you selected the second deck here, the Modern Nirvana Oracle, then this is your reading for your word of the year for 2025. You still have a selection to make here, and that is to choose card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Feel free to take a few deep breaths and select the card that is most calling you. If you need more time, then feel free to pause me. If you chose card 1, then your word of the year is strength. Strength is not just measured by how much we can literally hoist or hold, it can also be a metaphysical quality measured in emotional, mental, and spiritual fortitude, especially during times of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. The quote associated with this card from Lao Tzu is, "An ant on the move does more than a dozing ox." Achieving an adept level of core strength doesn't always come easily, but the more we work on it, the more it will work for us and grant us the ability to achieve equilibrium and stable footing. Your mantra for the year is, "If I look within, I will never be without. I am strong enough to transcend all of my fears and doubts." If you selected card 2, then your word of the year is connection. This quote is from a Chinese proverb. "An invisible thread connects those who are destined to meet, regardless of time, place, or circumstance. The thread may stretch or tangle, but will never break." And this is a card I actually drew quite a lot in my first year of graduate school, right before I met my mentor. And there is this instant recognition of kindred spirit, a familiar resonance, or a reminder of unfinished business where you can't quite place the why or how, but there's an understanding of great importance that transcends all logic. You aren't sure what's going to happen or when, but there's an inner knowing that this chance meeting is not chance at all. Your mantra for the year is, "I trust the tapestry of my life's design. I am in full faith that every moment in experience is threaded by the divine." If you chose card 3, then your word of the year is gratitude. And the quote associated with this card comes from Brother David Steindl Rast, and it says, "We are never more than one grateful thought away from peace of heart." If you've ever spent time traveling to different countries or immersing yourself in unfamiliar cultures, chances are you discovered new perspectives beyond the framework of what is most familiar to you. An appreciation for ancient cultures or brave new worlds can lead to eye-opening discoveries that capture a new perspective and bring what's important into focus. Cultivating gratitude for the kaleidoscope of human experiences can allow a smile of presence to overflow from your heart and ripple forward into your overall appreciation for life. And your mantra for the year is, "I awake each morning with a grateful heart. I am happy, I am healthy, and I am ignited with life's sacred spark." If you selected card 4, then your word of the year is liberation. This quote is from the Buddha. "By liberation of the self through love, we will develop love." Before we can achieve liberation, we must look at what is currently keeping us from our ultimate freedom. What layers of expectation are we confined to? If you had complete liberation right now, would that even be something that you would be willing to accept? We often seek comfort and familiarity in order to avoid the discomfort of change. This card is a gentle nudge to take a step into the unknown, away from what feels comfortable, and pivot from your usual choices so you can get closer to freedom. Remember that you, in fact, are already liberated, but it is the human conditioning that we use as our blueprint that hides how truly free we already are. And your mantra for the year is, "It is my right to be liberated from that which limits my mind. I believe in my inherent freedom and leave all limitations behind." If you selected card 5, then your word of the year is synthesis. This is a quote from Alan Watts. Imagine a multi-dimensional spider's web in the early morning covered with dewdrops, and every dewdrop contains the reflection of all the other dewdrops, and so ad infinitum. That is the Buddhist concept of the universe in an image. And this is a metaphor of Indra's net, which stems from both Buddhist and Hindu cosmology and relates to the metaphysical concept of non-duality. Your mantra for the year is, I strive for perception and acknowledge my part in the greater cosmic connection. I see, but understand there's always more than what meets the eye. Infinity is ever present, even when there may be a disguise. And my intuitive hit on this too is seeing all the different connections in your life, seeing how all these different pieces meld together, and then seeing those different pieces from different perspectives. If you selected card 6, your word of the year is discernment. When we are called to reflect on the idea of discernment, we are asked to seek presence and exercise good judgment in mind, body, and spirit. But how do we know what is good or bad when it comes to our choices and actions? What is good or bad when it comes to our judgment? What is truly good or bad, not just subjectively, but objectively speaking? How do we harmonize the various aspects of our human vessel so that we can think, feel, and be our very best? Working on our ability to listen, observe, and absorb allows us to integrate information from a holistic point of view. By transcending reactivity and emotion, we can find a relationship with equanimity or the state of overall mental calmness. Your mantra for the year is, I am committed to unifying with the most authentic expression of loving awareness. I am aware that integration is integral to maintaining this embodiment of truth. I listen, I hear, and I fully understand. If you selected card 7, your word of the year is resistance. Chinese finger puzzles are a gag toy that imprisons an unsuspecting victim's index finger inside a small cylindrical object made of lightly woven bamboo. Once trapped, the typical reaction is to attempt to break free from the puzzle by abruptly pulling away, and to avoid capture by resisting the confines of the object. But with every pull in the direction of opposition, the grip of the trap only gets tighter. The paradox of the puzzle is that the escape can only be found in surrender and release. The action of pushing toward the middle of the cylinder and moving away from resistance is where liberation from this prison may be ultimately found. Your mantra for the year is, as I move closer to areas of resistance, I find that in this space I will actualize my freedom. Where I once felt trapped, I am now in full liberation from all fear, doubt, and indecision. I am a force of gentleness, and I move and flow with divine precision. If you selected card 8, your word of the year is protection. Protection requires you to look internally and connect with your intuition. Begin trusting, observing, and listening to the voice inside. Call in whatever spiritual forces that align with your beliefs and remain diligent in your effort toward peaceful resolve. Sometimes the difficulties you face can be great teachers, yet other times you may be facing an energetic blockage. It's important to recognize the difference so you understand when you half grace through conflict and when to pick up your metaphysical sword and armor. The mantra for the year for you is, I am protected by forces of love and light, and in this protection, I am able to discern what is actually mine and what isn't my fight. If you selected card 9, your word of the year is perception. Perception is not reality. but rather our projection onto reality. Consider the circumstances that you're dealing with today or recently, or you will be in the upcoming year, and recognize that you and you alone give it all the meaning it has. It, whatever it may be, is the outward projection of your inner thoughts, and its meaning is what you are making it. When we recognize that our thoughts, words, and visions inspire and affect our outer world, we can take responsibility for the way we work with our senses and refine our sense-making abilities. We can become more conscious creators, liberated from projection, and empowered in the shifting of creation. And your mantra for the year is, I see what I wish to see, and these visions empower me to create my own reality. I understand that projection is an illusion, and I free myself from the poisonous thoughts. I use my mind's eye to create magical potions of awareness that remind me of my inner power and clear away all toxic mirage. Last but certainly not least, we have card 10, which is Nirvana. This is a quote from Bodhidharma, and it is, "Your mind is nirvana." The human spirit is an ephemeral shimmering of light, flickering for a finite amount of time on earth before advancing to the great mysterious beyond. Nirvana in Buddhism literally means blowing out or quenching. When we contemplate this idea in relation to the ultimate attainment on the other side of our cycles of experience, how do we release attachment to the lifespan of our light without being burned by what we cling to? And I think this is the question, if you drew this card, that you're going to be grappling with this year. It's the idea of legacy without attachment. And the mantra that is associated with this card is, I am light, but my fire does not burn. I maintain grace as the wheels of karma turn. Nirvana is my goal every day on this path, and I understand that my impact, not this vessel, is what's here to last. Remember to stick around until the end of this video. You can pop down into the description for the timestamps so you can see which area of your life is coming into prominence this year via the Lenormand cards. Also, be sure to join me for my drop-in divination event where we are mapping your magic for 2025. Just bring your decks of choice, pop in and divine live with other diviners and myself. I'll be supplying the questions and the vibes, and all you need to do is come with your decks of choice. I am very excited for it, and you can register here at emilyrosedivination.com/drop-in. If you selected pile number 3, you chose the Opal Oracle. You have one more selection to make here, and that is to choose one of these cards that is in front of you. Go ahead and take a deep breath. So go ahead and select one of these cards that is here, or multiple if you're feeling called to. Feel free to take some deep breaths. You can select cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you need more time to select your card, feel free to pause me. If you selected card 1, then your word of the year is pause. Hang back and gather yourself. Resting, even briefly, will allow profound insights to arise and give you the energy you need to make it to the finish line. And it says time to take a breather. If you selected card 2, you got the Patience card, which was also a word in pile 2. So I wonder if anybody got both of these. That would be a wonderful synchronicity. On it, it says exercise equanimity. And it says have patience with yourself and those around you. Don't be afraid to ask others to be patient with you while you figure things out. If you selected card 3, your word of the year is perspective. Step back and try to get a different view of your situation. Seeing things from a soul level will give you a clearer and higher perspective. And it says, consider the big picture. This is giving hangman energy. If you selected card 4, your word of the year is enchantment. See beauty in the ordinary. Notice the magic and miracles in the mundane. If you cannot find beauty, then seek to create it in the world around you. If you selected card 5, your word of the year is authenticity. Are you being honest with yourself? Is someone not being real with you? The world needs truth. Use your intuition to speak it without judgment. Live with integrity. If you selected card 6, your phrase of the year is moving on. It may be time to detach from a situation that is no longer serving you. As one phase of life is ending, another better phase is beginning. Better times are ahead. If you selected card 7, your word of the year is courage. Bravely lead with your heart. Show up for the unexpected. Face what you cannot control or do not understand. Do the things that scare you. Show up with a whole heart. If you selected card 8, your word of the year is uplift. Celebrate the success of others. Share the joy of their triumphs. We are all connected, so when we lift others up, it raises our own vibration. We all rise together. If you selected card 9, your word of the year is healing. Part of this situation may need some healing. Lovingly notice any disharmony and then turn your focus to healing. Allow the universe to support you. Return to wholeness. And finally, if you selected card 10, your word of the year is mystery. Give your mind a rest from trying to rationalize everything. Marvel at life's big mysteries and have faith that, in time, all will be revealed. Embrace the unknown. Remember to stick around until the end of this video because I am going to show you the area of your life that's likely to come into prominence this upcoming year via the Lenormand. And be sure to join me on Sunday, January 5th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We are going to do a drop-in divination event where we are asking some big mama questions for the upcoming year, looking at important areas of your life and seeing what's ahead. And all you need to do to be there is to register here at emilyrosedivination.com/drop-in. And all you need to bring are your card decks of choice. So that can be Lenormand, Tarot, Oracle, whatever you're comfortable with. And we will divine together. Stick around here for our little Lenormand spice that I'm adding on top of this reading. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick the areas of our life that are coming into prominence this upcoming year. We're only going to go ahead and select one of these areas, but just like the others, if you're drawn to more than one, that's okay. You can have more than one area. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 10 cards here. Okay, so let's see the areas here. I'm just drawing this in real time. I said 10, but I'm feeling 8. Okay. 9. Those two. Okay. I don't make the rules here. All right. So feel free to pick one or more of these cards that you are drawn to. Let's call these 1 through 4 up here, 5 through 8 down here, and then card 9 over here. Feel free to take some cleansing breaths before you choose, or if you're like me, you're already instantly drawn to one or more, and you already know, but if you need more time, feel free to pause me. Okay, if you selected card 1, this is the area of importance that's coming into your life this year. You have the stars. So this is a card about planning and future and hope. So this is a year where you're really zooming out and looking at the big picture. You're really mapping, planning, and seeing what you want to create moving forward. You're very future focused. So this would be the main area for the upcoming year if you selected card 1. If you selected card 2, the area of your life that's coming into focus this year are opportunities. So this is also synchronicities and serendipities that kind of happen in your life, and it's about taking advantage of them and acting on them. The clover is a positive card, but it can be a flash in the pan. So when you see an opportunity and you want to act on it, if it's truly something that you want, because it can evaporate quickly. So this is a year to really pay attention to the magic that's around you and grab hold of it. Speaking of grabbing hold of it, if you selected card 3, your area that's coming into focus this year is the anchor. There's kind of 2 ways to interpret this, so I'm going to leave it up to you with which one resonates the most for you. The first is stability. And the other one is habits, which habits can lead to stability. So with stability, this can be creating safety in your life. This could be a financial safety net. This could be creating connections with people who help you feel safe and secure. This could be, physical things, emotional things, things that help you feel safe this year. The other possibility are habits. So this is, how are you spending your daily life, and really looking at transforming your habits this upcoming year. If you selected card 4, challenges are coming into focus this year. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to encounter more challenges than any other year, but it means that you're going to be paying attention to how you're handling these challenges. How do you navigate challenges? And it's really about looking at your process for confronting things and deciding if you want to change how you're encountering these things. Similar to the anchor, there are 2 ways to really look at the whip as an area of focus for the upcoming year, and the whip is your card if you selected card 5. So one way to interpret the whip is productivity, and it's kind of that driver within ourselves that's always telling us we need to work. So this is, talking about your work ethic, and usually if you're drawing this, you're probably driving yourself pretty hard. So this is just saying, hey, this year this is going to come into prominence, and it's something that may be calling your attention to. Additionally, the whip can also be strife, arguments, things like that. And looking at where that friction and that dissonance is in your life and really deciding, how do I want to navigate this? Do I like the way I approach conflict? How can I be maybe even like a lot of us, I know I avoid conflict. So it's also looking at your relationship with conflict generally. Do I avoid it? Am I an aggravator? Right? Noticing how you interact with conflict. I wasn't kidding when I said I was adding spice to this reading with Lenormand, especially with these spicy cards here. But another spicy card here, we have card number 6, which is the clouds. The clouds is our mental state, and it's really looking at, a lot of times it's negativity. So this is asking you, what is your relationship with negativity? And what is your mental state like? And how can we invite the sun, which is the antidote to the clouds? The clouds is really about confusion, doubt. It's about wading through these murky waters. And I always want to find the sun to follow it up, because the sun chases away the clouds. Now, the clouds are not bad. We need clouds. So it's really about, to me, this is really about non-duality, and not necessarily seeing doubt and seeing confusion as inherently negative things, but finding a new relationship with those things that are essential in our life. If you chose card 7, you have the tree. So one way to perceive this card is simply health. So this could be a year where you are really focusing on your health, and that's what you're going all in on. Another way to look at this is just growth. So this could be your spiritual health. This could be your mental health. This, especially if you drew this card with it, this is for sure a mental health combo here. But this is looking at your areas of growth this upcoming year. How are you growing? Another way to interpret this is rooting into something. Maybe you just moved somewhere new, or perhaps you started a new career, or you're in a new place and you're rooting into those things. You're cementing yourself there for a while. So those are a few ways to interpret the tree as an area of importance. If you selected card 8, then you have the fox, which is work. That's the way I read this in this deck, since I don't have another work card. I'm partial to the Rana George Lenormand. She's my mentor, and I love having the market, but because I use that as work. But in this deck, I use the fox. So work is coming into prominence more this year. Additionally, you could see this as adaptability, strategy, and being strategic with things. And if you chose this in the discernment card, that would make a lot of sense. They kind of rhyme with each other here. So if you selected card 8, it's either work, or it could be a combo of work and being strategic and adaptable. And I knew there was a reason I chose an extra card. If you selected card 9, you have the stork. And the area of your life that's coming into prominence in 2025 is progress. Looking at actually progressing. The thing I like about the stork is that they just leave stuff behind too. They don't care about the mess they're kind of making in the name of progress, if things are going to be better. So this is saying you might get a little bit messy this year, but it's in the name of progress. And those are the areas of prominence that could be coming into your life this year. Remember, if you want to dive deeper, I am having a drop-in divination event on January 5th. You can register here, emilyrosedivination.com/drop-in. Bring yourself, bring your cards of choice. I bring the questions and the vibes. And we're also going to be talking about my newly improved Lenormand membership. I can't wait to tell you about the changes that are happening. And you can register for that again here, emilyrosedivination.com/drop-in. And if you love Lenormand, I also have a mini course you can take for absolutely free, which you can take at emilyrosedivination.com/mini course. And if you want a more in-depth reading with me, you can request a private reading with me at emilyrosedivination.com/offerings. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to ensure you see more videos like this. And if you loved this video, please do comment and let me know. That is literally the only way that I know that you really like this video and that you want more of it. That's why I created this one, is because there was a number of people who commented and told me, hey, please make one of these for 2025. So if you want more videos like this, please let me know. And if you have ideas for a video that you would like me to do, you have topics, please comment that below as well. Thanks all, and I hope to see you on the 5th.